The old jeep rumbled up the mountain road, its tires crunching through the fresh snow. John gripped the steering wheel, eyes focused on the quickly changing weather, his knuckles white from the cold. Beside him, Sarah smiled, her excitement for their weekend getaway evident in her sparkling eyes. A blanket of fresh snow covered everything, the air crisp and clean, making the world look like a winter wonderland. They finally arrived at the cabin, a charming wooden structure nestled among tall pines, its rustic charm inviting them in. Smoke curled from its chimney, a welcoming beacon that promised warmth and comfort inside. Excitement bubbled in Sarah's chest, her anticipation growing with each passing moment. John stopped the car, the engine sighing in the stillness, as if relieved to have reached their destination. He turned to Sarah, his eyes twinkling with a mix of love and excitement. "Ready for a cozy weekend, my love?" he asked, his voice filled with warmth. Sarah nodded, her heart already warmed by his smile and the promise of the weekend ahead. They stepped out into the cold, snowflakes starting to fall around them, adding to the magic of the moment. John reached for her hand, his touch sending a familiar current through her, a silent promise of love and togetherness. Together they walked towards the cabin, their laughter echoing in the stillness, a sound of pure joy. The promise of a weekend away, just the two of them, filled the air with a quiet joy and anticipation. The cabin door creaked open, revealing a haven of warmth and comfort, a sanctuary from the cold outside. A fire crackled merrily in the stone fireplace, casting dancing shadows on the wooden walls, creating a cozy ambience. The scent of pine and cinnamon filled the air, a sensory hug that enveloped them both, making them feel instantly at home. A plush rug lay spread before the fireplace, beckoning them closer to its warmth and comfort. Sarah kicked off her snow-covered boots, her toes sinking into the warmth of the rug, a sigh of relief escaping her lips. John followed suit, his arm brushing hers in a silent promise of shared moments and quiet intimacy, a bond that needed no words. A sense of peace settled over them as they unpacked their bags, the cabin's charm wrapping around them like a warm blanket. The cabin, though small, held an undeniable charm, each corner filled with character and warmth. Hand-knitted throws adorned the furniture, and family pictures adorned the walls, telling stories of love and togetherness. It felt like a home, a place where memories were made and cherished, a sanctuary from the outside world. Sarah wandered around, taking in the details, her fingers trailing over the smooth wood of a small table, feeling the history in its grain. She could feel the history in these walls, the laughter and love of those who had come before, a legacy of warmth and joy. Turning back to John, she found him watching her, a soft smile gracing his lips, his eyes filled with love. "It's perfect," she whispered, her voice filled with contentment and a deep sense of peace. The snow fell steadily outside, painting the world white, each flake adding to the serene beauty of the landscape. Inside, John and Sarah settled into the rhythm of their secluded weekend, finding comfort in the simplicity of their surroundings. They cooked simple meals together, their laughter echoing in the small kitchen, creating a symphony of joy and togetherness. John, usually more comfortable in his office, surprised himself by enjoying the simple act of chopping vegetables, finding a new rhythm in the process. Sarah, ever the baker, had brought along ingredients for chocolate chip cookies, eager to share her passion with John. The aroma of melting chocolate and vanilla filled the cabin, mingling with the scent of pine and wood smoke, creating a cozy and inviting atmosphere. After dinner, they curled up on the rug before the crackling fire, feeling the warmth seep into their bones. The flames danced and flickered, casting a warm glow on their faces, illuminating their smiles and the love in their eyes. John had brought a stack of board games, a tradition from their early dating days, hoping to rekindle old memories. Sarah teased him mercilessly as she beat him at Scrabble, her laughter ringing out like wind chimes, filling the cabin with joy. He pretended to pout, but the sparkle in his eyes betrayed his amusement, showing how much he enjoyed these moments. The hours melted away, measured only by the crackling fire and the soft murmur of their voices, as they shared stories and dreams. As the night deepened, the snowstorm raged on, blanketing the world outside in a thick layer of white, creating a winter wonderland. Inside, however, it felt like a different world, a sanctuary of love amidst the cold. The wind howled outside, but here there was only warmth and laughter, a stark contrast to the storm. John poured them each a glass of wine, and they sat in comfortable silence, watching the flames dance, and feeling a deep sense of contentment. Sarah leaned her head against John's shoulder, his familiar scent a source of comfort and reassurance. He wrapped his arm around her, his touch speaking volumes, conveying love and protection. "Remember that first winter we were together?" Sarah asked, her voice soft and filled with nostalgia. John chuckled, the memory vivid in his mind, bringing a smile to his face. "How could I forget? We got snowed in at your tiny apartment, with only ramen noodles and bad movies for company, but it was perfect." Sarah laughed, the sound echoing in the quiet cabin, a melody of happiness. "And yet," she said, turning to look at him, "it felt like the most romantic adventure, one that we will always cherish." Their eyes met, a silent conversation passing between them, filled with love and understanding. The storm outside faded into the background, their world shrinking to the space between them, filled with the warmth of shared memories and unspoken promises, a testament to their enduring love. The next morning they woke to a world transformed, a winter wonderland that seemed almost magical. Sunlight streamed through the frosted windows, painting the snow-covered landscape outside in a breathtaking glow, making everything sparkle as if dusted with diamonds. The storm had passed, leaving behind a pristine white canvas, untouched and inviting. A sense of peace settled over them as they ate breakfast, the silence broken only by the crackling fire and the soft chirping of birds outside, creating a serene and cozy atmosphere. John watched Sarah as she moved around the cabin, her cheeks flushed from the fire's warmth, her eyes sparkling with joy and contentment. He was struck, as he often was, by her simple beauty and the way she filled his life with sunshine, making even the coldest days feel warm. They decided to venture out, eager to experience the magic of the snow-covered landscape, ready for a day of adventure and fun. Bundled up in layers of warm clothing, they stepped out into the crisp, cold air, their breath visible in the frosty morning. The world seemed to hold its breath, the silence broken only by the crunch of their boots on the fresh snow, a sound that was both soothing and exhilarating. Sarah laughed, her breath forming white puffs in the air, and bent down to scoop up a handful of snow, her eyes twinkling with mischief. She playfully tossed it at John, who pretended to be surprised before scooping up a snowball of his own, ready to retaliate. Their laughter echoed through the silent woods, a testament to the joy they found in each other's company, their playful banter a reminder of their deep bond. Later that afternoon, they returned to the cabin, their cheeks rosy from the cold, their hearts light with joy and the heat of shared moments. They spent the rest of the day curled up on the rug by the fire, reading their favourite books, sipping hot chocolate, and sharing stories, the fire's glow adding to the cosy ambience. John, usually a man of few words, found himself opening up to Sarah, sharing anecdotes from his childhood and dreams for the future, feeling a deep connection. She listened with rapt attention, her eyes shining with love and understanding, her heart swelling with affection for him. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the snow, they both knew that this weekend had been more than just a getaway. It had been a chance to reconnect, to rekindle the flame that burned between them, a flame that now burned brighter than ever. The fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the walls as the day drew to a close, the heat of the fire reflecting the flames in their hearts. Sarah rested her head against John's shoulder, his steady heartbeat a comforting lullaby, a rhythm that spoke of love and security. He gently stroked her hair, lost in the simple pleasure of her presence, feeling a profound sense of peace. "This is nice," he murmured, his voice barely audible above the crackling fire, the words carrying a depth of emotion. Sarah hummed in agreement, her eyes closed, a sense of contentment washing over her, feeling completely at home in his arms. The silence that stretched between them wasn't empty. It was filled with the comfortable familiarity of a love that had weathered storms and emerged stronger, a love that would continue to grow with each passing day. The snowstorm raged on, but inside the cabin, a different kind of storm brewed. John, emboldened by the intimacy of their weekend, confessed a long-held fear about his career. He spoke of his anxieties, his voice low and hesitant, his eyes searching hers for reassurance. Sarah listened patiently, her heart aching for him. When he was finished, she took his hand, her touch conveying more than words ever could. "You are strong, John," she said, her voice filled with conviction, "and you are not alone in this." Her words, spoken with such love and understanding, broke through the walls he had built around his heart. He leaned in, drawn to her warmth and strength, and she met him halfway. Their kiss was slow and deep, filled with a lifetime of unspoken emotions. It was a kiss that spoke of vulnerability and trust, of a love that ran deeper than words. The next day dawned bright and clear, the storm finally abated. As they packed their bags, a bittersweet feeling settled over them. They were eager to return to their lives, yet reluctant to leave the sanctuary they had created within the cabin walls. Standing on the porch, hand in hand, they took one last look at the snow-covered landscape. The sun glinted off the pristine white snow, a dazzling display of nature's beauty. It felt like a new beginning, a fresh start. John turned to Sarah, his eyes reflecting the clear blue sky. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, "for this weekend, for everything." Sarah smiled, her heart overflowing with love for the man beside her. "We needed this," she said, squeezing his hand. "We needed to remember who we are, together." As they drove away from the cabin, the sun warming their faces, they carried with them the memories of a weekend filled with laughter, love, and a renewed sense of connection. The snow might have trapped them inside the cabin, but it had also brought them closer than ever before. Thank you for listening to the Sleepy Library. Don't forget to give this story a like, leave your story ideas in the comments, and subscribe to our channel.